2020 Mercedes C-Class, and it looks like it gives a vibe of both luxury and sportiness. But does it? Today I'm here to find out. This is the kind of car you might be considering if you're looking for a BMW 3 Series and an Audi A4. So back in the days, the C-Class was launched in India in 2018 and was in the market till the year 2022. In 2020, the C-Class got a facelift, which is this, and it would set you back around 50 lakhs because that's where it used to start from, and went all the way up to 1.3 CR, which was the C43 AMG trim. That was hell of a car. Now you can make her yours in around 30 to 35 lakhs depending on the year and the condition of the car. And if you guys are looking for a sweet deal on this C-Class or any other car, do hit us up on our socials and we'll get you that sweet deal and the right car. C-Class has been in the market for some time and it has held its presence pretty well and has gained a few modern touches over the years. The first thing you notice from the side is that the car has a very strong shoulder line, which looks good. But over here we have some chrome that flows seamlessly across the windows and below here on the door panels, which gives that seamless, elegant look. Over here is your fuel tank, nothing special about it, just 66 liters. But back in the day when C-Class was launched and you wanted some bigger alloy wheels such as 19 inches, you would have to go for the C63. But this being the C200, you have your standard 17-inch alloy wheels, which in my opinion look okayish. But moving on to the front, most noticeable thing in front are these headlights, which look futuristic and modern at the same time. It just makes the car look so good. But other than that, it's a fairly standard front of C-Class. They've revised the grille a little bit, but I don't like this grille because it's a little flimsy from Merc, which I don't like. And we've got some fake vents all over the bumper, which I don't like. But what I like is that Mercedes have done an incredible job designing the front and the rear tail lights. They have a cool, futuristic, 3D modern design, which looks absolutely amazing. But other than that, you have this chrome strip that flows seamlessly across the boot and over here as well, again stitching that elegant look. And thank you, Mercedes, for not giving us fake exhaust. Inside the C-Class, and I really like the whole layout of this car, starting with this wooden trim that goes all across the center console and on the doors, which gives the car that premium, elegant look. And look at this trim, it even has texture on it, brilliant. But now moving on, you notice the car is also heavily wrapped with chrome all around you. Over here on the AC vents, these buttons over here, the outlining for this wooden part, this part over here, and the button to open the center storage, and even the door control buttons and the seat control buttons, which is a lovely touch. A lot of automakers cheap out on those places, but Mercedes have not cheaped out at all. Now once you're overwhelmed and gather your focus around, then you notice all the soft touches and the lovely leather the car is wrapped around. For example, over here, and even on the door sides. Even the door bins are not covered in scratchy plastic but soft plush material, which is a brilliant touch. Also, it's very difficult to find out any sort of cheapness except for these plasticky buttons right over here, which I don't like, but it is a pretty good laid out cabin inside. Now onto the screen. And then there's the screen, which back in the day was not touchscreen as you get in the newer C-Class. So the screen could only be controlled by this touchpad over here and the swivel wheel and the buttons on the steering wheel. You've got some shortcut buttons, but the screen is pretty outdated as compared to modern standard. But the graphics are crisp and it is easy to use while you're driving, but you would feel much better to use the screen of a 3 Series or an Audi A4. But overall speaking, the screen does look like an afterthought. It's like Mercedes people had completely forgotten about the screen while they were designing the interior. And once the interior was designed, they just placed the screen right over here, which brings me on to the annoying things about the C-Class. You might be expecting you might get a full boot, but with the C-Class, the spare wheel does not go under the floor and it takes up all the boot space. The strong shoulder line doesn't mean you have a lot of space inside. Due to this hump over here, the C-Class does compromise with the shoulder space when 3 people are sitting in the back. While the car has Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, but it's wired. While you had to compromise with the shoulder space, but now you have to compromise with the foot space as well, as this huge humps makes it difficult for 3 passengers to sit at the back. While the C-Class didn't have a lot of annoying features, but it surely does have cool features, starting with this pop-out reverse camera, which gives a cleaner look at the back. The C-Class is fitted with a fully digital 12-inch driver's display, which is highly configurable and is good to use, and it's definitely better than the 3 Series. It's got a sunroof for both front passengers and the back. While you thought you only get 64 colors of ambient lighting in an S-Class, but now you can get it in the C-Class as well. While you guys must be wondering what this button does, it controls the under-thigh support electronically, which is brilliant. Thank God this car is fitted with electronic steering wheel. While you thought the memory seats are only for the driver's side, but the C-Class has it for the passengers as well. Inside the back seat of the Mercedes C-Class, and the simplicity and the elegance continues to the back as well. It's the clutter-free environment back here. You've got soft touch on the doors, the wooden trim continues, and it's a lovely cabin to spend some time. Also, there's this glass roof above you, so you do not feel claustrophobic, and there's ample of light always in the car. But talking about the overall comfort of the car, the knee room just enough. Under footwell space is a little tight, and headroom is a little tight if I straight upright. Also, the under thigh support is poor. Also, again, we've talked about the huge hump, which makes it even more difficult to carry 3 passengers, and it compromises on your footwell space for sure. But for 4 people in this car, sorry for that, 4 people in this car with the armrest down, I think it's a pretty comfortable position to be cruised around in. And you've got some storage space right here, which is laid out in this soft material in which you can keep things you do not want to get damaged. Now, the cup holders come out in a very cool way, and it brings me on to the practicality of the C-Class. Cup holders does the job as it fits the bottle of practicality. The rear door bins are large enough to accommodate 1 bottle of practicality, which is decent. Carrying longer items isn't a task in the C-Class, as you can do it with the push of a button. Charging your mobile devices isn't an issue in the C-Class, as you've got 2 USB ports and a 12-volt socket, so you can keep your mobile devices charged. Practicality is strong at the front as well, as you can fit 2 or 3 bottles of practicality in the front door. Cup holders at the front also do a decent job, as they fit the bottle of practicality. The glove box is nice and big, but the opening isn't that wide, so putting in bigger items could be a task. The center armrest space is decent, but sadly doesn't fit the bottle of practicality. The boot space of the C-Class without the spare wheel is 480 liters, and as you can see, the opening is pretty wide, so it's easy to get in bigger items. But over here, the floor is too deep inside, so carrying out heavier items could be a task. But inside, you've got some tether points to tie your stuff down, as the spare wheel is tied down. Over here, you have your latches to put your seats down, and it's a good, decent, fairly standard boot. Which brings me Now let's talk about the powertrain of the C200. So it's got a 2-liter 4-cylinder engine, which is mated with a 9-speed gearbox, producing 201 bhp and 300 Nm of torque. Well, if this power isn't enough for you, of course they have some more options like the C300 and the C43 AMG, which produce 242 bhp and 500 Nm of torque, and the C63 producing 501 bhp and 700 Nm of torque. Also, you get some body kit all around the car, and it just looks more sportier and drives more sportier. Now, let's take her out. Driving the C-Class, and I must say it's a pretty nice cabin to spend some time. It's got immense of lights everywhere, and especially I love the dual sunroof setting in this car. Just makes the car look more roomy. Now I can complain about these side mirrors, they're big and chunky, and the visibility is actually pretty good in this car. Also, you can see everything ahead of you. And what I'm also surprised by is how low the seat can actually go. As I'm sitting in the most lowest position, look at it. I have immense amount of room, and a tall person would also be just okay while driving and sitting in this driving seat. But I must say the BMW 3 Series is a little better when it comes to driving experience. C-Class is more like a cruiser, comfort and luxury. BM is a little bit more sporty and driver centric, but I can't complain about the steering wheel or neither the accelerator nor the handling about this car, because they have nailed it. Another thing that I thought that I'm gonna miss those aggressive Merc red needles, but I think they've done a fantastic job with the digital driver's display. It's crisp, it's nice. Thing I can complain about is the gearbox, because it's on the laggier side, and as soon as you put your foot down, it doesn't know which gear to put you in, and you can definitely feel it while you're driving. And this is not an issue in the 3 Series, I can assure you that. Enough talk, now it's time to floor it. But at the end of the day, the Merc was never meant to be driven. It was to be chauffeured around or to be driven in ultimate luxury, which you absolutely feel while you're sitting in a cabin this nice.